There is something about dramatic lighting that just pulls us in. And after watching this video, you should be able to shoot something like this. Some of the most iconic movies in history mastered this look. The Godfather, where the deep shadows create a feeling of power. Or all of the good Batman movies, where this dark and moody feeling adds to the gritty vibe of the movie. But what makes this light so effective? It's not all about making it look cool, but most of the time it is. Shadows create uncertainty. Strong contrasts focus our eyes on specific regions. And in combination with a careful use of color, you can really lead the direction of the mood. I personally think dramatic lighting is even a good start for beginners to learn about light and use it to extend the lights that are already in the scene. It's much easier to create shadows instead of getting rid of them. Like I said before, the trick about this lighting is not to make everything dark. It's about light control. Understanding how the light interacts with the talent and your scene. We will now analyze together this music video scene I did that really follows that mood, contrasty, dark cinematic mood. Wow. This was a lot of adjectives. So if we look at the scene, you can see we have this really nice color contrast from red to blue in the backgrounds. Like I said before, it's not only about the lighting. You always have to think about the colors. Because if these people would wear black suits, they will completely fall into the darkness and we wouldn't be able to see them. But because the director decided to put them into red cloths, they really pop and stand out and lead our eyes directly where they should be. And in this scene, it's even more important to direct our lights here, because in the final edit, as you can see, we still have a nova or a sky panel or something like that in this corner. But this mistake no one noticed, not even in the color grading process. And that's crazy. That's like how effective color and lighting control is. The main light source, as you can see, is this hospital light. And this is the normal light we got when we bought this bed frame. And it had a beautiful characteristic. It was very clear, very color neutral. Maybe that's the reason why doctors use it. Because this light's so bright, it also leads our view direction into the scene. The hospital light gives our talents the key light. As you can see, if you get closer, we're going for a really contrasty look. We are here on even exposure, but almost completely black on this side. But that's what we wanted. When you have a really wide frame, you have to light more contrasty and not soft. If you want to have more breakdowns like this, leave a comment behind and subscribe to the channel, because I post every week a new video. The next lights in the scene are these Astera lights. As you can see, there's also one, but we turned that one off because this one was too much lighting the background and we're removing the focus from our subject. So we turned this one off, but the other two lights are always great for practicals. Keep always practicals in your scene. They're a point of interest and make the image look more interesting. But they also have the functionality. They're giving us some exposure to work with, so that not everything goes into pure blacks. The next light was the sky panel with a grid. The actors didn't get light from this, but we also wanted to give them a little bit of contrast. Like you can see that they look a little bit more three-dimensional. And the last light we did was this red one with animation. In music videos you can always use animated lights, would always look good, but it also gives a little bit of a dramatic, dark, moody feeling. That's okay, we have this crazy scene where she's getting an injection and we get this spooky red light coming through the doors. We did this to give the scene a little bit more dynamic, because the camera was on a tripod, but with the light we can still give it a little bit of movement. When we go in for the close-up, the only light we used was the hospital light. As you can see, we had a really hard source with it. And there's almost no light there. But as you can see, we have a little bit of details in the shadows. We are not completely black. Another reason for this is the texture and the bed frame we used. There was not a completely black one. We had a little bit of blue here. So we get a little bit of color contrast bounce back into her face. And it really harmonized with the red outfits from the actors. To get even more focus on the scene, we also cut down all of the Asteras. I think the sky panel was given a little bit of touch, but we also pulled that a little bit down. Because we shot anamorphic, you can see we also get this cool blue streak that's harmonized with the color of our bed. For the next shot, you can see we got a little bit closer. We used longer lens. I think it was a 65mm because we really wanted to see that emotion on the face. We still used this light, but this time we put a little bit of diffusion because we wanted to a little bit nicer roll off. As you can see, it's still very hard, but she doesn't fall into darkness at all. You can clearly see every single detail on her face, but we're still getting this nice dramatic light. You always have to think when lighting in layers. This dark side is a layer, this bright side from the key light is a layer, the background is a layer, and the background is always a layer. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of light to give the scene a more three-dimensional look. This is also a shot that I really liked. You can see our artist finding this mysterious scene. And as I said before, look how many layers we built. We put her in a completely silhouette. As you can see, she has no light on her. Maybe there was an Astera that gave a little kiss, but I don't think so. That looks really dark. And then we have this really dirty window. In scenes like this, you have to put something on the window to make it more dirty. This creates, as you can see, a lot of nice textures and another layer that we can work with. Then, as you can see, now we have the color layer here. Everything has this moody green tint, but as the next layer we have this nice red clothing, our key light, our Asteras, and the background. And as you can see, with just one light, 2 Asteras and red clothes, how many layers we created. This is not a complicated shot where you need a lot of lights. It's just clever pacing, knowing which mood you want to create, keeping the color grading in mind even before shooting. And with all this information combined, you can create amazing images. If you want to learn more about lighting, you can follow me on Instagram for more little videos, and also can subscribe to this YouTube channel because every week here is a new video. I'm Marco Bagnoli and I'll see you next time.